What has Israel become? And are you proud of it? Are you really proud of this? If you say you're still proud of this, there's something wrong with you. And you got to look in the mirror and go to a therapist and figure it out. Because this is disgusting, no matter what country does it.
Top military lawyer in Israel is now in custody for leaking horrific footage of Israeli soldiers abusing a Palestinian detainee. Cenk, before we get into the harrowing details, what do you make of this story?
Well, I was told that Hamas is the worst thing that you could possibly imagine because they did sexual assault on October 7th. And I agree, that's terrible. And here is the IDF doing sexual assault. So I'm sure that the Israelis will find it just as objectionable. In fact, since it's their own, they'll find it even more objectionable, right? Right? No, of course, let's find out how they're going to punish the person who told you.
Well, viewers, be warned, this story is extremely graphic. But that aside, let's explain what's happening in Israel. In 2024, a video of IDF soldiers seemingly abusing a Palestinian detainee sparked international outrage. The incident took place at the Detained military facility. An anonymous IDF reservist who served there stated, I woke up in Detained and simply saw how an Abu Ghraib-like thing was taking shape. You see normal, pretty ordinary people reaching a point where they abuse people for their own amusement, not even for an interrogation or anything. In a leaked video, a blindfolded Palestinian detainee is surrounded by a group of soldiers who arrange themselves around the detainee so their actions cannot be seen by surveillance footage. But while we can't see exactly what's happening in the footage, we do know what happened next. The detainee was severely ill when he arrived at a hospital and required surgery for a rectal perforation, according to a person who viewed the medical file and spoke on the condition of anonymity. The detainee also had signs of trauma to the chest and the abdomen, the person said. The detainee's injuries, including several broken ribs, were life-threatening. An anonymous medical staffer who witnessed the detainee stated, "It was pretty horrifying. It's just setting the bar so low that I don't know how we can deteriorate more morally. I was aware things like that could happen, but I've never witnessed anything like that." The detainee was treated at a civilian hospital, and the case came to light because the hospital staff spoke out about what they saw. Worse still, according to Drop Site News, a classified Israeli military order shows the man Israeli soldiers brutally raped on camera for 15 minutes was never charged with any crime. For months, pro-Israel advocates claimed he was an elite Hamas fighter who participated in October 7th to justify the atrocity. The leaked document confirms he was a civilian, one of 1,700 Gazans being held without charge and freed from Israel's torture sites in the recent exchange on October 13th, 2025. Under the deal, Israel had only agreed to free 1,700 Palestinians from Gaza who had not been charged with any crime. Last year, 5 of the Israeli reservists who abused the detainee were indicted on charges of assaulting a prisoner. Their trial is still ongoing. But the charges sparked outrage in Israel. At one point, furious right-wing Israelis even stormed that facility. They were upset at the Israeli government for prosecuting their country's own soldiers. Here's one horrific example of what the discourse looked like in Israel. In a heated exchange in Israel's parliament, one lawmaker asked another, to insert a stick in a person's rectum, is that legitimate? Yes, replied Hanok Milwitsky, a member of Likud. If he is a Nukba, everything is legitimate to do to him, everything. Around that same time, Bezalel Smotrich, Israel's finance minister, stated that the soldiers should be treated like heroes, not villains. Fast forward to this year. On Friday, Major General Yafat Tomer-Yerushalmi, officially stepped down as Israel's most senior official overseeing military justice. In her resignation letter, she revealed that she leaked the video of the IDF soldiers abusing the detainee. As the person standing at the head of the military prosecution, and out of a sense of deep responsibility to the military, to the unit, and my soldiers, I approved releasing the material to the media in an effort to thwart the false propaganda against law enforcement in the military. Unfortunately, the basic understanding that there are acts that must not be committed, even against the most despicable of detainees, no longer convinces everyone. And she has since been detained by the Israeli government on charges of obstruction of justice, fraud, and abuse of office. Once again, Israeli society is debating what happened to the detainee. On Friday, Israel Katz, the Israeli defense minister, wrote on X in a post that was auto-translated by the platform, "I have decided that Chief Military Prosecutor Yifat Tomer-Yerushalmi will not return to her position. I will ensure that justice is fully served against anyone who lent a hand to the blood libel against IDF soldiers in the Stay Diamond affair." As for Israel's leader, Netanyahu has called the leaking of the video perhaps the most severe public relations attack on Israel since its founding. Itamar Ben-Gvir, Israel's national security minister, referred to the leaked footage as a fabricated rape video. He's also bragging about the nightmarish conditions in Israeli prisons. Meanwhile, one of the soldiers who is accused of raping the detainee is now showing his face and openly asking the citizens of Israel to support him. Cenk, what do you make of this story?
Yeah, as disastrous as it gets, and unfortunately telling of the current state of the Israeli government, but also the Israeli population. So let's talk about all of it. First of all, the cowards in the IDF beat him for 15 minutes and raped him while he was shackled and bound. So they're very tough when they have tanks and jets and 2,000-pound bombs that we all paid for. They're very tough as they're murdering innocent civilians and raping them. But I'm sure that they think that they're like the world's greatest soldiers. The other guy's side doesn't even have any weapons. You keep arresting people for throwing rocks. They arrested a 16-year-old American boy for looking at someone throwing a rock. Look, oh, see, he was looking, we're so scared, right? But the minute they have someone bound and shackled, they rape them. Because the IDF are sick terrorists. So this is one example of it, but look at what they just did to Gaza. One of the worst genocides and ethnic cleansing of our lifetimes, all to steal half of it, 53%, now occupied by Israel. So the terrorists killed and terrorized all those people, and then apparently raped some of the civilians so that they could steal more land. So, I mean, look at them. You're seeing all the quotes. Those are Israeli cabinet members and Knesset members. So that disgusting Israel Katz talking about how it's blood libel. So wait, let me get this right. The original blood libel was this absurd thing that they used to charge Jews with in Europe, where they would say, oh, they're killing Christian children and drinking their blood. Terrible, disgusting, not remotely true, obviously made up as a way to gin up hatred towards Jews, which leads to pogroms and Holocaust, etc. So that's something that should be sacred, right? And you shouldn't just throw that around willy-nilly as a charge. Now, does this have anything to do with children or drinking their blood? No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with rogue terrorist rapists. I mean, if they're not one of you and you're not in condoning the rape of innocent civilians, then you would obviously denounce the person. Watch, I denounce them. I denounce Hamas, who did something similar. I denounce what Hamas did on October 7th. I denounce that Israel has done 75 October 7th. Nope, in American media and American politics, they work for Israel, so no, not the same, not the same. One October 7th, way worse than 75 October 7th, because the people who were killed and raped are just Palestinians. That's how our media treats them. They're just Arabs and Muslims. Who cares about them, right? Now back to Israel. The Israeli government's like, oh, the guys who raped Palestinians? Yes, we must protect them. The person who revealed the rape? Oh, you got to punish her. We found a moral, decent person in the IDF. They don't belong. They don't belong. Make sure you get rid of them and arrest them and punish them for trying to stop the rapist inside the IDF. Okay, so those are all facts, and they have nothing to do with blood libel. Nothing. Okay, blood libel isn't about rape. It's not about soldiers. It's not about grown people. It's just a made up thing that was horrific back in the day. But now Israel's like, let's callously use all the things that were done to us or done to Jewish people overall, and then we'll hide behind those. We'll use them as shields, and that way we can rape the Palestinians and we can murder their children, 20,000 of them, and get away with it because we'll just say, oh, wait a minute, hold on. She's an Israeli general. So a Jewish Israeli is an anti-Semite who did the blood libel trope? Now she's an anti-Semite. Okay, well, you see, it's just garbage. The word anti-Semite, blood libel, all those things, trope, have been weaponized by the Israelis, and they hide behind them like cowards that they are. They're government officials. And they go, oh, yeah, it's a good way to ruin everyone. And they're so deluded and so insane that they're like, oh, we've been using it against Americans. Any American who opposes Israel, we crush them. We destroy their lives. We call you, oh, he hates Jews. I have to fire him. Make sure he never earns a living. Everyone hate this guy, right? That works so well. We just called all the Americans anti-Semites, the right, left, and we got them on, yeah, he's crushed them, right? Oh, now Israelis have a conscience. By the way, the original guy who turned these guys in was a doctor. The doctor couldn't believe the IDF had done that. He's an Israeli, he's Jewish. And he was like, what? He's got knife wounds, you broke his ribs, he was shackled and tortured. By the way, you think this is a lone case? No way. When Israel returned its hostages in the recent ceasefire deal, they returned a lot of the dead hostages, right? And prisoners, most of them are civilians that have never been charged with anything. Israel just swoops up civilians, goes, oh, I want 20 of my soldiers back, so I kidnapped 1,000, 2,000 of your civilians. Oh, by the way, I've been torturing them and raping them the entire time. Okay, but here they are. And as they were returning them, they were returned bound and shackled and tortured to death. So that's what the IDF does. And then they go, the whole world is anti-Semitic. There's no reason why you would object to torture or rape unless you hated Jews. And think about how much they smear other Jewish people by doing that. They're basically saying, if you love Jewish people, you would be pro-torture and rape. That is a disgusting thing to say. I don't know anything more anti-Semitic than that. I mean, how's that for irony? So all these disgusting terrorist cabinet members in the Israeli cabinet and in their Knesset, all smearing other Jews for their own nationalistic grotesqueries. All right, so last thing is about the civilians, about the Israeli population, okay? So look, the IDF is clearly terrorist, their government is clearly terrorist and fascist. So then the question is, how about the people? Are they being held at gunpoint by this evil fascist government? A majority of Israelis say that Israel should keep going in Gaza. They haven't killed enough Palestinians. And now this guy is fundraising, the rapist. He's like, oh, we should all punish the one decent person we found in the IDF, punish the general who's a good person. Give me money because I rape Palestinian civilians. So Israel, what are you gonna do? My guess is they're gonna let him go and they're gonna punish her. They're gonna let all of them go and they're gonna punish her. Their kangaroo courts and military courts find the IDF soldiers innocent 99% of the time. You know why? Because they're not real courts. They're like, oh, you murdered and tortured and raped Palestinians. Congratulations. That makes you a model soldier in the IDF. Those are the exact kind of terrorists we're looking for. So they never get punished. They get rewarded for their terrorism. So we're sending tens of billions of dollars to a terrorist state, and their actions are clear. We didn't tell them to rape the Palestinians, they did. We didn't tell them to let go the rapist and punish the person who turned them in. That's what Israel's doing right now. So look, at some point they're gonna have an election and we're gonna find out. Look, I'm never ever going to be for anything physical, violent, in any way towards any civilians, no matter how awful their point of view is. But right now, the majority of the Israeli population is backing terrorism and genocide. And I hope to God, I think that they could be better. They were better before. They're human beings just like the rest of us. They have to snap out of this hypnotic trance that they've put themselves in. They're gorging on terrorism. It happens, it moves from country to country. The Germans did it, the Turks did it, now the Israelis are doing it. And I hope that if you love Israel, that you could find a way to get them out of this. Because if you don't snap them out of this trance that they're in, they're gonna continue to be hated, and rightly so, as one of the most evil nations on earth. And it's not really that close. Like, yeah, sure, it's close to the North Koreans and a couple other nations, but really, I mean, no one's killed more journalists, no one's killed more human rights workers, no one's killed more civilians, no one has a worse civilian kill ratio. No one, like others I get, might rape their prisoners, but they usually aren't proud of it. Okay, what has Israel become? And are you proud of it? Are you really proud of this? If you say you're still proud of this, there's something wrong with you. And you gotta look in the mirror and go to a therapist and figure it out. Because this is disgusting no matter what country does it. And if you say no, Israel should get to do it and you shouldn't be allowed to criticize them, okay, you're a terrible person. Okay, I thought that was clear enough. Good news, the overwhelming majority of you in the audience are not that person. You're the ones trying to fight back against the genocide, and we love you for it. And for the few stragglers left, they're mainly corrupt. And they're like, oh yeah, but billionaires are paying me. So that's why I love this stuff and I cover it up and I make the American voters pay for it. Okay, and those are the bad guys and we're gonna keep on pointing them out going forward. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.